Might be a bit much for some of our listeners, I feel. Who was that?
It's a band called Brassy.
That's good, isn't it? It's been used on a commercial, I believe.
It's on a phone commercial.
I recognise that. We have with us Mr. Boy George, ladies and gentlemen.
And fabulous shoes.
Yes, he's wearing shoes. You'll be pleased to know he is shod. And this one is kind of a training shoe with jewels stuck on top.
And a bit of paint.
And a bit of paint and costume jewellery. And the other one is not very nice. The right foot...
I'll come back and...
The right foot you've worked on. The left foot's unfinished. Let's have a look at that.
Well, you know, I've got no time in the day.
Look at the state of that one there. It's just got a pin in it. And a bit of old... No laces. Actually, you've got quite small feet. You're about, what, about an 8 or 9?
Yeah, don't let that fool you.
Yeah. He's like a little flower. There I was, thinking he was an impressive figure of a man. Look at him. He's balancing around as like size 2.
I've had no complaints.
His feet were bound as a child by his Manchurian nanny. George, it's lovely to see you again.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Now, I genuinely, I mean this, I went to see Taboo, really loved it. Really enjoyed it. Probably it speaks to me nostalgically as well as a
yeah, and
piece
I
of work.
think your wife's been a couple of times with your lovely daughter as well.
Jane went back with Betty, who I was not sure whether she'd be old enough for, but I think it's kind of, even though there were adult themes in the show, it's quite sensitively handled.
Actually, the other day we had a little 5-year-old kid in and he was obviously ill, and I found myself censoring myself.
When you say he was obviously ill...
Well, he was, you know, you could see that he would...
I see what you mean. So he's been brought along as a...
Yeah, we sort of come for the day, and I just found myself sort of being all prudish, and I started changing lines, and the cast were like, "Did you forget?" I went, "No, I kept seeing that child."
I've got to be honest with you, though. I do feel that if you've got a kid who's ill, you know, take him to Disney World. Come on, don't give him second.
Do you know what? The kid loved it. I have to say, kid loved it. I gave him a garland. I gave him a nice picture with photo afterwards. He had a really good time. He liked me.
I still think
he thought I was a big scary TV sort of character.
The kid wanted Disney World. He got Taboo. That's second best. Come on.
The kid loved Taboo. Children like it.
They do actually. Well, because it's very colourful.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I mean, and the songs are catchy. I mean, not only the ones you do with Culture Club, but the new songs you wrote for it are good as well.
Yeah, and also kids don't always understand. Like, there's a scene in the toilet, which obviously you've seen. We won't go into detail, but my friend brought his little 7-year-old daughter. And when I go out to the sort of latrine, she went, "Oh, has that man done a big poo? Is that why they're laughing?" So there's an innocence about kids that's, you know, they don't get it.
I thought that's what happened.
Oh no!
Something else happened there. Maybe Jane will explain to you when I get home. I said I love
what your marriage is lasting because you've got this sweet naivety about you, John.
We're doing a lot of poo material in this. Did you hear that side I just said about my wife on the motorway? Men doing a poo by the side of the road.
No, I'm not really... We're just discussing the sort of poo thing. I'm not really big on poo.
No, I wasn't suggesting you were, but I just...
No, do you know what I mean? I don't really like anything like that. I'm not into toilet humour.
Well, just as well. Taboo, though, has been a big hit for you, hasn't it?
It has, yes. We've done well, considering that, you know, so many shows have closed down quite quickly. We've sort of, you know, struggled on. Year and 4 months. We shut in the 26th of April.
And then it's going on to New York, is that correct?
Once we found out a few little problems.
Oh, I see. So still
the Americans are like, no, the deal's done.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, Americans always, like when I did my autobiography, it's like, oh, we've got to change the cover. And it turns out that more people bought the English book on eBay or whatever because they wanted the original cover.
Right, I see.
But Americans always think, you know, oh, you've got to be more adult and grown up. It's like, don't you get it? I don't want to grow up.
Yeah, slightly. You're a more fun approach we have over here. Is it Rosie O'Donnell, the American talk show person?
King of New York.
She's doing it.
Yes.
And who's she playing in it?
She's not playing anyone at the moment, and we're trying to get her to play Big Sue, but I think she's not too keen on that. But maybe she'll take over as Leigh after me.
That would be great. She could do Leigh.
Well, I'd love a woman. I've always wanted a woman to do it here, like Jo Brand or Dawn French would be really lucky. But I think a woman playing it would be hysterical.
And you're playing Leigh again at the moment, aren't you?
I'm playing it at the moment, and it's the best role because she just gets to, you know, drag up every night.
There did I just miss it, or is it still to come? There was a programme due on Leigh Bowery on TV.
Actually, it's been on twice, and it's on Sunday night on BBC 4 at 11 o'clock.
And the Leigh Bowery, for people who aren't familiar, what an exceptional and interesting character.
He was, you know, I think Leigh sort of lived in Australia in the outback, was reading all these fashion magazines and seeing all these fantastic people in London and just wanted to come here. I think when he got here, he realised that quite a lot of things had been done visually, so he knew he had to make a kind of splash and ended up making a kind of tidal wave.
Yeah, I mean, he really did push the boat out there, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's actually on that programme, there's a great bit of him on an art show in the North, which I remember seeing. And in fact, there's that fantastic thing with you where you say to Leigh, so how would you describe this outfit? And he goes, well, Jonathan, it's kind of A-line. And you go, what do you mean? So he stands up and he goes, it's shaped like an A. And you say to him, oh, you can do an S then. And he goes, no, you are quite limited with the alphabet. He was a funny guy. I mean, you know, I remember seeing that because he fell over on your show, and there was that thing with Eartha Kitt.
Oh, that's right. My goodness, we're going back now. This must be about 15 years ago.
I remember watching that, you know, and just laughing, because I remember seeing the thing with Eartha Kitt on MTV with being really rude to Leigh. Nasty woman she is. I mean, I love her, but
sure she's not nasty.
Oh, no, she is.
Is she?
Elton John told me this story that she came into her dressing room. He went into her dressing room and she went, I'm Elton John. She went, I never liked anything you did.
Well, that's just honest.
It's rude, Jonathan. You say it when people leave the room, not when they're in it.
You sound a bit peaky. You've got a wheezy chest going on there.
Oh, look, was he Dr. Ross?
I'm just worried about you. We've got an iron lung round the corner. We'll put you in. We'll give you Thank you. You didn't know. I heard a bit of a wheeze going. Have you had the flu? Have you had the Chinese flu?
No, I am asthmatic and I smoke because I'm a twit.
Well, that is daft.
I know.
You've got to stop smoking. But if you stop smoking, would you put on weight, do you think?
I'm not really bothered about that, actually, because I'd probably walk more if I stop smoking.
Yeah.
Get up the stairs quicker.
Do you do any exercise? I mean...
Yes, verbal.
Yeah, that's...
Use my tongue a lot. That sounds really saucy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but...
They see it once again.
I stretch every day. You know, I do all that stretching. I'm quite supple.
What do you do? Do you Pilates, yoga?
No, I just do this sort of, you know, it's called do-in. It's like a sort of Japanese thing where you just stretch and, you know...
That sounds nice.
Be amazed what I could do with my body. People are quite impressed.
You know what? I wouldn't be amazed. It would merely substantiate that which I believe already, George.
Well, let's not go there, please.
Do you play any sport?
No.
Did you used to box, or one of your brothers used to box?
No, my dad was a boxer, and he sort of tried to drag us all to the gym, you know, all that sort of stuff, you know, make you a man, you know. But I didn't mind the skipping. Skipping was okay. It was all the stuff in the ring getting your face punched, not for me.
That's understandable.
And my brother actually was a professional boxer, sort of turned pro, and then... because he was such a handsome guy, he just, you know, got hit a few times and thought, nah. I think he saw a few other boxers that had been, like, really battered.
Yes.
Although I do quite like that look myself, you know.
I do. You see, we don't even want to go there.
Kickboxers.
I wasn't asking you about your pipes. I didn't
don't
know
lie. You were edging towards that.
I know what kind
question.
you go for. I can tell.
Car thieves, you know.
You and Dale Winton, you both go for it's people who run stalls. That's what it is.
How dare you? Even mention... I mean, not I've got anything against Dale, but that's like, you know...
Dale's lovely. He phones me.
Calling me Danny LaRue.
Yeah,
don't even answer that question.
I've got an email here for you. There's an email from someone called Matt. It said, my mate Glenn is coming from Vancouver in July, and he says that Boy George sometimes invites fans around to his house for tea. Is this correct?
Only ones our fans to see. You better be good looking.
Since Glenn is obsessed with tea and Boy George, I would have thought you'd rather hear that the other way around, though, wouldn't you? And the only thing he wants to do is go to your house for tea. Can they come over?
Well, you know, I'm not going to commit to that on the air.
I don't blame you.
But I might bring them over to yours because I've got your address now, haven't I?
Don't bring them over to mine.
Oh, I think it'd be fantastic. Double whammy. Jonathan Ross and Boy George.
I don't want anyone coming to my house. Don't come to my house. You're not welcome. Even people I know, stop coming round.
I'm going to become your stalker now, you see. That's
Are you a sociable sort of person, though, in terms of...
I mean, I don't really let fans into my house because, you know, they're sort of... They make you feel uncomfortable, don't they? They sort of stare at you, you know. Because when I'm at home, I like to be really scruffy.
Well, see, I don't know, because I don't have fans of that sort. I mean,
you must have fans.
No, but I'm sure people quite like my work. But it's like, hello, and that's it. But you are, being a musician and being a kind of person with an interesting worldview, a different way of looking, and a way of kind of inspiring people. I'm sure you have a very different...
But people do think... I've got one great story. I remember that we had this keyboard player who got sick before a tour, and we had to replace her overnight, so we had to send this tape to this girl. I get this ring on my door about 11 at night, thinking it's this girl, Amanda. And I go, come in, I'm in like boxer shorts, dirty old grease t-shirt, I'm cooking a stir-fry, I look like a right tramp. And this Texan woman comes in with the biggest Dolly Parton hairdo, and it's like, hey, hello, what about, who are you? And she went, I'm like, whatever. And I went, oh, sorry, love, because I let her in. So I thought she said it was Amanda. And it was so funny. And I said, so you've got to get out. And then a couple of weeks later, I got a letter from her, and it was so sweet. She said, I'm so sober. You did look cute in your boxer shorts.
That's what you want to hear back.
Yeah, but I didn't feel very cute. I felt like a beast.
I remember telling me, remember when George Michael was huge? Okay, I don't mean physically. I mean when he was at the top of the pops all the time. There was a story that he... Yeah, he had a new cleaning lady turn up, and she didn't know she was going to George Michael's house, and she was a big fan. West Indian woman. She turned up. He opened the door. She saw him. She stared at him for a couple of minutes. No, it wasn't the maid from Tom and Jerry. She fainted dead on the spot. Fell over.
She didn't go, you so ugly,
Thomas. No, she wasn't doing any of that. And that's probably borderline racist. I don't know if we can do that.
Oh, for God's sake!
You've got to be careful these days, George.
Well, Eminem could call me a fag, and I can, do it back.
What's that got to do with anything?
I know, I'm being existentialist.
Don't just come here and get stuff off your chest. Got a shopping list of things
you just told me my chest was bad, so, you know, I'm trying to help myself out.
It sounds wheezy. Get the inhaler in. Let's play. What are we going to play? What track are we going to play for George?
Out of Fashion, please, because that's the single.
We just played it.
We just played
you played that?
Oh,
yeah. Play it again.
Who are Highgate, this band you're performing with?
Highgate are Judge Jules from your fellow radio station Radio 1, who don't play me.
He's a DJ.
He's a DJ and a producer. And Paul Masterson is a guy who does a band called Yamanda. They sort of got this sort of group they do together. And normally their stuff is actually quite hard, you know, because it's quite, you know...
Techno, banging.
Well, it's quite sort of, you know, reluctant, sort of DIY music, but they sent me that because I'm doing a sort of collaborations with different dance acts, and to be honest, I left it on the table for 2 days, so I thought, well, it's going to be too fast, and then when I heard it, I thought, actually, it's quite beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. It sounded very good.
So and it had fashion written, and I thought, well, Bowie's done that, so I'll do Out of Fashion.
Well, yeah, of course, but you're a big Bowie fan, of course.
Oh, I'm the Hampton Bowie clone. I'll be official. I was called that in the Mojo.
Have you?
But that's an insult.
You've never sung with him, though, have you?
Oh, no. I would love to. I've got a song as well, but, you know, I think Bowie's very particular about who he works with. But I've got friendly with Angie Bowie recently, which is really great.
Yeah, that won't do you any favours when it comes to that.
Do you know what? I have to say, a lot of Bowie fans do love Angie.
I kind of really like Angie.
Angie created Ziggy, you know. She did. She took him to New York and met him.
George, come on.
Jonathan, she introduced him to Lou Reed and all those people. She was, you know...
I think that inflamed chest has spread to your brain.
Look, if you remember Bowie before Ziggy, he had long hippie hairdo and he had that old Afghan coat. It was like half drag queen.
I think a number of people maybe went into the...
No, I think Angie was a very important component in that creation.
A bit of controversy on the show this morning.
And Yoko saved the Beatles from mediocrity. I mean, what else could you know?
OK, let's have another track while I sort George out on his Bowie history here. What's this?
This is Supergrass.
OK, lovely. Well, we've sorted George out now.
Have we?
He knows he was wrong. Are you going bald, or you just shave your hair for the part now?
I refuse to answer that question.
I mean, that's a yes then.
Well, no, I'm not going bald, but I mean, I've shaved it to do Leigh. I mean, my hair sort of grows in all the wrong places.
Right.
It's sort of, there's a bit in the middle that doesn't quite sort of come back.
So you got the monk's
My hair grows everywhere on my body. Like, literally, I've got so much testosterone, I'm so butch.
I imagine you like a big bear.
That's a gay term, so you've been hanging out with the wrong people.
No, I meant in the natural sense of the word.
But that's what they call them on the gay scene, you know, chunky men with hair, they're called bears.
I know of that.
Oh, you're so hip.
I know that because Phil Duplass is always getting emails from people inviting him to bear clubs in Amsterdam and stuff like that. They do like a big man sometimes.
Yeah, but I've never been to any of those clubs. I don't like that kind of thing.
No one was saying you had. Don't need to get defensive here.
Oh, my God.
It's not like we think any the less of you if you had, what you've been through. We've gone off George. We hear he goes to gay bars. Come on.
Do you know what? I don't, actually. I go to straight clubs. That's the only place I pick up.
George likes to get straight men and confuse them.
Does he?
Oh, show me one straight man that isn't confused and I'll give you a medal.
OK, so when do you go to New York then?
Hopefully I'll probably go over in June for a week to sort of, you know, see what they're doing with the show.
And so you're not going to be in there? I thought you were going
to
play Leigh.
I'm playing Leigh, yeah. So I'm going... I'll actually have a 14-month contract with Ewan, who's playing me. So we're the two main characters that are going, and... it's going to be a long time.
Now, the guy who's playing you in the play is fantastic.
He is scary.
The young actor who plays George in Taboo is absolutely... If you're a Culture Club fan, if you're a George fan, you've got to go along to this. It's not an impersonation so much. It's like seeing
really
a young you on stage.
At the Albert Hall, we did a gig last year. Ewan opened the show, and people were going, "Oh, George really looks young," and he's shrunk 4 foot, and he's lost about 50 stone. Is
there occasionally? Do you feel a pang when you see him perform? You think,
no, you know what? I don't, because when he first sort of started doing the role, he kept bugging me for material, you know, like old footage. And after like a sort of couple of weeks of sort of hanging out with him and, you know, being with him, I thought, you're so much like me. I mean, there's so many things about him that are similar. You know, the other day when I was getting dressed in this dressing room and he was having a row with someone about the sound. And it was like, I saw myself. Because he was putting on, you know, the Culture Club thing with Star David, and I went, oh my God. I said, I'm sorry to laugh, because he was really in a temper. Yeah. But the difference between what he was doing, see, I would have just gone mad, but you was going, look, I know it's not your fault, you know, really going losing it. And I'm thinking, no, I would have just gone mad, then later apologised. He was doing it at the same time.
Do you still have a temper?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but you know what? In Taboo, I've only had one hissy fit in a year.
OK, and what was that over?
Oh, you know, there was just all this arguing with the cast backstage, and I just listened to it for 2 weeks, and then I just finally had enough. So I was like, I'm leaving. I did that every day in Culture Club.
But do you miss that period, though? being in a band.
I mean, I don't really miss it because, I think it's great to have a sort of respect for what you've done in the past. And certainly without it, I wouldn't be here talking to you or doing what I'm doing. So I do sort of feel some kind of loyalty to the rest of the band, as much as they drive me up the wall. After the last American tour, I was like, never again. But then you get a period away, It's like having a row with your girlfriend.
I think any bands are like that, though, aren't they? They have a period.
And I'm not really into fart jokes, And after 6 weeks on an American tour bus with, someone playing a fart machine every it's like, it was funny once.
Yeah, that isn't the cleverest humour. So who was the prime culprit when it came?
The worst person in Country Club is Roy Hay.
Roy Hay. Now, he was bass player, is that right? No, he was
a guitarist. Yeah. He was a guitarist from Essex.
And it's Mikey on...
Mikey's bass. Mikey's the most sane one. Roy is out of control, and John's sort of composite of the two.
And you and John, you going on okay now?
So long as I'm not left in the room alone. There are some sort of ex-lovers of mine that I can actually sit and chat to, and be friendly with, but haven't really got around to the sort of being alone in a room with John scene, Don't know what to say.
Yeah. It's kind of tough, isn't it?
Still gay, how's your kids?
Can I just offer some advice? That's not the best way to start the conversation.
No, actually, the first time I met John's children, which this was really fun, I was going across sort of, where the American embassy is, walking out of a cafe, and I saw this couple rowing with a pram, they were having a row. And as they came towards me, I realised it was Jon and Babs, and I went, oh, having a row. He went, trust you to meet us on a date like this. Going well then, everything, but they seem to be getting on great. They've got 2 kids.
I bumped into them a while ago. They were at a fairground where, you take your kids.
Were they convincingly straight?
They seemed very convincingly straight to me.
We're all
I was fooled.
No. Babs is lovely, actually.
But you maintain there is no gay and there is no straight. There's a kind of amorphous melting pot.
If that doesn't prove it, what does?
Exactly. There you go.
Because I tell you what, he weren't straight when he was going out and mates, yeah?
Because Andy's now, changed. He's getting married.
Yeah. What do you mean I've changed?
You were straight, now you're more straight. That's what he means.
I think we all know what I mean. We should play another track. We've got Dez O'Connor coming on in a minute.
No, he's there. We'll have to get rid of George.
Play some Bowie.
I don't want to get rid of George. I like having George. You maybe bring them out together.
What?
I'm on Dez's show on Tuesday anyway.
You're doing Dez with Mel and Dez?
Mel and Dez, yeah.
Isn't that a good show now?
I do love it, yeah.
Yeah, when it started off, it was a bit... It took a time to find its feet, I thought. It seemed a little bit kind
You're
of...
allowed to say that. I'm not. I'm a guest on Tuesday.
Yeah, but now, I'm only saying that because genuinely I do think it's turned around now and it's very entertaining.
Yeah, and also I think those sort of shows, those sort of old... because it's quite like an old-style show, isn't it? Sort of chatty, like those sort of 70s, 80s.
Well, you're actually given a chance to answer the questions, you mean?
Yeah. I like your shows, where it's all about you, making you look good. And
Did I do anything?
Not on the TV, not on the radio, on the TV. Remember that bit in the 80s?
Anything?
Yeah. Throw him out.
No, no. And you know what? We've got Dez coming and he'll be
friendly with his wife.
And pleasant. Yeah. Well, do you think... But I'm better now, I think. I think I've calmed down a bit.
You have. You've like we all grow into ourselves, don't we?
We do. Yeah. Isn't that true? Are you happy?
Except for Michael Winner. No, that's a problem.
Yeah, but that would take a lot of growing into it, wouldn't it? Are you happy where you are now? That you seem very sorted.
I do feel, I feel good. I mean, I wouldn't mind sort of finding a significant other.
I don't think you're ever going to find one for years.
Thank you very much.
No, I'll be honest with you.
Jane,
I think
someone could find someone. I mean, Jane and me are so similar. So it's like, if she can find someone, why can't I? I think it's easier for women. Anyway.
Move in with us. You could be like Uncle Fester.
Come in. Jonathan's in his bathroom. He doesn't want to see anybody.
He's in his robe.
The gays are over tonight.
We got the gays coming up on Tuesday night.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. You should come out. Oh, you're working, of course.
I'll only come on a straight night or a mixed night. I will not come on an exclusively gay night.
Every night's a mixed night of my house.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let's play another track. A bit Bobby George after this. I like that. Who was that by?
That's Clancy Eccles.
Clancy Eccles. We all like a bit of reggae. We like a bit of dub. We like a bit of ska. We like a bit of blue beat. I tell you who likes it more than most, Dez O'Connor.
Yeah.
No, Dez likes ragga. Pure ragga.
Enough respect, fellas.
Dez, it's him. That's what we like. He's down with the kids. Dez was one of the original kings of bling. Got the bling jewellery. You like a bit of jewellery, don't you?
Well, you'd be surprised where I used to put it.
Hey! It's so lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, John. I don't normally get up this... Well, I do actually during the week, but not on Saturdays.
Because
there's a special Saturday being here for you.
Well, thank you very much.
In a suit, I'm surprised. I thought you'd be in a puce blouse or something wild, and everybody's looking... And George is looking very quiet.
No, but the shoes...
Oh, God, have you seen... Pity we're not on telly. Look at those shoes.
It's such a shame we're not on TV.
But don't worry, on Tuesday I'll do you proud.
No, so listen, I didn't know till I heard just now that you're on the show on Tuesday, because I don't ever look. In fact, one morning...
Well, I've tuned in. I can see sometimes doing the show you don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what,
doesn't show.
You definitely knows me on Tuesday, that's for sure.
Well, I bought a paper one morning to see who was on the show that day.
Part of the
That's the truth.
Now, let's talk about your lovely psychic on the show, Melanie Sykes. She's terrific.
She's lovely,
She's great, isn't she? And now, I sense, when you first started, it took a while while for you guys to hit your stride, I think, and to find the show for it to work.
There's a slight age difference there.
But now you two getting on like milk and honey.
Yes.
Is that the face we're looking for?
Sort of.
Like two chimps in the zoo.
Well, now you're getting close.
Two of them sitting in a tyre sharing a banana.
What is good about it, John, you find very few females, don't be disrespectful, that will just, if you say, look, just let's talk and just don't worry about scripts and just see what happens. And then we get the giggles, and she's inclined to say the wrong...
That's not actually scripted, you just do that kind of off the cuff.
John, George, you could not script that. Some of the things she says, I mean, she says some very odd things. She doesn't realise what she's saying. There's a certain naivety about her. And there she is, and she's just adorable.
Trust me, she's not my naive. I've been out clubbing with her.
Really? Oh, that was pre-marriage days. Pre-marriage days.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's calmed down, because she had quite a reputation at one stage.
No, I will not hear this about myself.
No, she was fun. No, she was always fun. Do you know what? On Tuesday, I've got a dodgy picture of her. I'll bring it in.
Oh, well.
That might
she might not turn up now.
Pass it our way first. We'll put it on the website.
Don't get the club awards.
But Des won an award for the show a couple of weeks ago, the Royal Television Society Award, which was lovely to see. I was there, and I tried.
And you won an award. There's a queue, you see. So I'll pick that up.
You don't have to mention that.
No, I don't want to. So you'll start saying horrible things about.
Big up yourself, Jonathan Guan.
Big up. I don't like to big up myself. I'm not one for bigging up. I find it distasteful.
You always big up yourself.
I do not big up myself.
You're always talking about
do.
How dare you? I never big up myself. Des, do I big up myself?
Yes.
He said it all.
I'm not a big uppy kind of person.
You said you want to be Prime Minister the other day.
That's different. That's just common sense. That's not bigging up. That's offering a way out of the situation.
You wouldn't want to do that job, Jonathan.
I know I wouldn't.
Look how stressed out Tony Blair looks.
Yeah, but
Why didn't we vote for Linda? Or Lionel. Linda, you know.
Oh, Linda, that Linda.
Or Lionel. Everyone would be dancing now. There'd be no war. There'd be tap dancing.
He's been out of circulation for a while, James.
Middle East.
He's auditioning for Mel's role. That's why he's saying the daftest things.
He wears lovely gear, I'll tell you that.
George, look how great Des looks. Yes, look, you look fit as a fiddle. How do you keep fit?
I don't know. I'm up every morning at 7:30 these days, do a bit of walking.
But you don't seem to put on weight or anything?
No, I scrub upward.
Yeah, but how do you look at that? There's no bulge on the stomach.
I think a lot of it you see is...
It's not that much of a bulge.
Humour, isn't it? Sense of humour.
If you got the right outlook, I know we're going to start lecturing now, but if you can have a laugh and a giggle, that's going to keep you young. But then
see, that's the thing. You asked me about my hair earlier. I'd rather lose my hair than my sense of humour.
That's very true. When did you lose your sense of humour?
When I met you.
Yes. Do you play sports, Des?
Yes.
Golf, I imagine.
Snooker, walk around the golf course. Mainly, I did it all. I was an amateur jockey for 3 years.
I remember seeing some footage of you years ago playing some tennis.
Yes.
And you looked quite.
What's that game with the spots? Do you ever do that? That thing?
Twister.
I can imagine you and Mel doing that.
The trouble thing about Twister is, if you play with someone and then someone breaks wind, that's never good. And that happens. That happens, George.
Pick your partners carefully.
You can't. When you're playing with me, it's going to happen.
Especially vegetarians, they're not good to play that with.
Can I ask you two fellas? You've both been around the block. Do you find you break wind more on a plane than in normal life?
Do you know what? I find that I don't break wind as much now because I chew my food.
I never thought it was going to get this cultural, when I accept this invitation here this morning. I didn't realise it would be at this level.
We can't talk about the war. We're running out of subjects.
Yeah, because no one knows it's happening.
No, we've got to keep on safe ground.
Shh, don't mention the war.
Well, let's not. Let's stick with the wind and the chewing. Because Des, how old are you now?
Well, let me put it this way. I'd rather be my age, right, and look 50 than your age and look like me.
Oh, Cassie, put your claws away.
So
Just
well
joking,
put.
John.
No, that's a fantastic
We
thing
never
to say.
talk... it's a number on a passport.
All I'm saying is you look fantastic.
Well, thank you,
It
John.
really does, and I mean, because I can't remember, and obviously you've changed over the years, but you don't seem to have got any older over the last 10 years.
It's all in there, as I said. Yeah. I'm fortunate. It's in the genes. Don't do the genes, Joe. Yeah, it's in the genes. My dad passed away at 94 with a smile on his face.
Was he really 94?
94. My mum was 80, 81.
Wow.
So when you were parents that lived that long, and they both looked about 15 years. When I was 30, I looked about 9.
That's fantastic.
I've always looked like a kid, baby. So fortunate. Nothing to be proud of.
And as you get older, though, you kind of start moving the goalposts and thinking, well, maybe I've got till 70, well, maybe I've got till 80. And I'm very lucky. Both my parents are still with us, so I'm kind of fingers crossed that we've...
I don't really think about things like that.
Well, you should do.
I think about, where my next shoes are coming from.
That's probably why you'll outlive us all, though. He's like a water boatsman. He's just skating on the
I've got
surface.
friends that are like 25 and stunning, and they always look in the mirror for spots and lines. It's like, get over yourself.
That age you get...
Botox at 25, I mean, please.
Yeah, crazy.
You haven't had any work done.
No, you want to check out the
No, I
ideas?
don't need a check. I trust you. George, you've had nothing done.
No, I have nothing done because I'm a coward, and so I don't look like one. The sort of 50-year-old sort of camp queen with eyebrows that sort of permanently arched.
That's not a great look,
sort
is
of
it?
look of
Talking through your
surprise.
I'm actually doing that now. I like that look. Do that again. Look at
You
that.
can do that, but you can do that with a hairband.
You're like a widow twanky.
Jonathan.
You do? So, have you painted those eyebrows on? What have you done with your eyebrows today?
It's a damn lie.
You've done something to your eyebrows.
Oh, okay, if you're going to clean the floor, move the tree.
He's done something to his eyebrows. Let's put a track on. Hey, you know what? It's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Des, we know your mother. She's passed away. You just can't say. George, your mum's still with us.
I spoke to my mum about half an hour ago.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh,
So,
see,
happy Mother's Day, Mummy.
What about you, John?
I love
Your
you.
mum?
My mum's still with us. She's
And
still
Andy?
doing well.
Yeah, my
I'm
mum's
pleased to
still
say.
with us.
We should play a track for the mums on Mother's Day. You've got something in your hand there.
Des has brought it in.
What is it?
It's
Jodie Brooke Wilson. Best new voice you're going to hear in years.
And is would this be a suitable track for Mother's Day? Or
Which track are you going to play?
I don't know which one.
Play Temporary Madness.
Temporary Madness doesn't really work, does it?
No, it doesn't quite
It
work.
sounds like your mum's losing it.
Well, in my house-
Aluminium spoons.
What mood? This girl will give you any mood.
Right, we'll do this one
Well,
then.
I love you,
Which
Spice
track is
Girls
this?
song.
It's called Temporary Madness.
Temporary madness. Well,
Sort
all
of-
mothers have a
Sort of
moment
right
of
for
madness,
this
don't they?
programme.
They didn't have a moment of madness. They wouldn't have children in the first place,
No.
would they? It's a moment where they forget, and then next thing you know, boom, and up the duff. So here we go. This is for mothers everywhere.
Jodie Brooke Wilson.
What a lovely sentiment, Jodie Brooke Wilson. That was lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely. And I think that was... I didn't listen to the lyrical content. I may well be, saying the wrong thing, but it struck me as being the perfect tune to play for Mother's Day. For
There's
mothering
nothing
Sunday.
to do with Mother's
Well, I
Day.
didn't listen to the lyrics there. But the vibe generally was nice.
It's a
for
nice
mothers.
mood, nice with good voice.
Yeah, and let's face it, most of the mums out there, they're losing their hearing a bit anyway. So they,
Jodie
all they
Brooke
hear is the
Wilson.
bass, boom, boom, boom.
Your girlfriend.
No.
Jodie.
Partner.
Oh, sorry.
Partner.
Very
For a
modern.
long
Yeah,
time.
Significant other.
Des, you're performing tomorrow, is that right?
Yes, and I heard on the way, when I was coming up in the car, great yard, making it sound like it's the end of the pier. Let me tell you, Jonathan Ross.
Yes, sir.
This is a private function being thrown by the Sultan of Brunei.
Good
I
Lord.
played for
And
him.
you don't want to hear what I'm getting. I don't
Things
want to
must
see
be
a
bad in the
man.
Middle East if he's moved to Great Yarmouth. You must
I
be
didn't think for the
panicking.
Sultan of Brunei's accountant
I
one.
tell you what, sell the palace, I'm going to Yarmouth.
Des, get Des in.
Des is on.
We'll even have Des, anything rather than the noise.
Don't worry, a Yashmak. I've got quite a few nice ones.
Thank you very much.
I'm surprised you haven't been bought by an hour by now, George, the way you look.
No, because no.
At least a timeshare they could get on you, couldn't they?
My house is for Arabic, so if they do sort of, descend, I'll be saying, I'm with you.
Des, so you're singing. Do you do stand-up as well when you
What do you mean, do I do stand-up?
Well, I know you do comedy and stuff on stage, but when
I don't need help to stand up. I do.
Zim Zimmer.
you was out with a flame.
I have done 1,000 performances as a stand-up at the Palladium in 1972, so that'll give you a few years back.
1,000 performances.
It's now 1,000. I'm showing well a lot, and yes, I do stand.
I know you do the comedy, but I mean, now do you mainly do the singing?
Oh
or do
yeah,
you do
no, it's mainly getting them laughing, getting them giggling, throwing in a bit of music, putting some funny tags on the end,
I wish I could sing.
But we could, you and I. I know. I stand in line until you think you get. I've always wanted to sing.
Jonathan, you don't need to be able to sing now. You could be a top star in any second.
Do you think so? With enhanced sounds?
Well, I mean, listen to the people they get in the charts.
But I wish I could really sing. When you see people on stage and they really cut loose, it's a wonderful thing.
Always like
But
bands
John,
that
maybe
sound
it's
the same.
hidden in there. Have you ever got up there?
What do you mean if I opened up my diaphragm?
Have you opened up your diaphragm? Have you exploited
You're
your
singing
potential?
that kind of boy band.
He's going for it.
And the corn is as high as an elephant's eye.
Go deep down into your
I wish Simon Cowell was here. Tell him
What did you make of this? Do you like reality TV, Des? Do you watch any of the
I was
reality
watching
TV
Reborn and the You thingy.
Yeah.
There was one wonderful moment in there. Little Sonia, bless her. She's watching her knickers as small. And she said...
They're not really so small, are they? Really?
She's
Watching her mediums.
She's watching a medium and she's scrubbing around there and she looks over the shoulder and there's the camera and she said, I don't take this out, I like to do this in private because I don't want anybody to see me watching my sports. It was on television. I then fell on the floor laughing. It was a magic moment.
They're being quite cruel with the way they're leaving stuff in because they're putting them in the worst hotels and they really seem to be making them suffer, those poor people out there.
I've done those tours, though.
Yeah, hard work.
I remember actually getting changed in this sort of shop attached to this club that was sort of full of sadomasochistic stuff, and I looked at the pen and I went, what went wrong?
I think they've got to be very brave or desperate to do that.
Yeah.
I think probably they... I mean, these reality shows can lift someone's careers up, but they can also do a lot of harm.
But some of them, well, yes, Dolo, I don't think have come out of it particularly well, bless them.
Yeah, but he's got his hamburger stall in Brighton, isn't he?
Nothing wrong with that. I'd be happy with a hamburger.
So I think I actually applaud them for actually getting up and doing something, because in this country we do knock people for getting up and doing it again, and it's it's a very negative British attitude.
There's no reason why they shouldn't, and I mean, and
at least they're not standing at a car, kind of cleaning your windows and annoying you and taking money off you and working.
He's getting very right. Can you hear that?
I'm not right wing at all.
George will go off against asylum seekers in a minute.
Yeah, I'd like to go after a few asylum seekers. I'm very fond of the Yugoslavian
Not in that
chaps.
way, no. They're all tired from running through the Channel Tunnel. They can't service you as well.
You'd be surprised, John.
No, you see...
There's a little corner in Kilburn.
This is why we won't win any more awards for this show, this kind of level of smart.
I know.
So that song.
Des comes on, he lowers the whole tone.
There's a little corner in Kilburn. You can find a Yugoslavian.
I would like to see... I'm going to put forward a theory. I'd like to see the two of you release a single together.
George, do you...
And we do it.
You're making up songs now.
No, there was a song called "And We Do It," though we never did. But we
say we're young and we don't know.
I know. You know what I'd like to see? I'm a pink toothbrush. I'm a blue toothbrush. I'd like to see you two do that.
You're so predictable.
What?
Let's get in Larry Grayson as well.
You don't have to be pink. He could be pink.
Des will never be pink.
On the phone.
He could be pink. I'm sure Des has had a pink period in show business. Everyone has.
Moving swiftly on.
That's a yes then. All right. So, but the show is with Mel. The show you do on ITV, and it's on ITV. What time of day is it on? It's about.
Well, it's been 1 o'clock official time, but with the war problems, it's going on 1:30 at the moment.
But it's a success at the moment. I mean, it's
doubled its viewers, which is extraordinary. And in 3 months, there's won an award, and there's already talks about bringing it back. So yeah,
I'll still on late at night as well because it's great. Because I'm an insomniac, so I'll watch it like at 3 in the morning.
I didn't know they repeated it.
They do, yes.
Middle of the night.
And so, and you enjoy doing it. I get the feeling you're enjoying it.
Well, John, like you're doing here, I wish the listeners could come in and see you guys. It's not a script inside. They're just yakking away. And I've tried to bring that to the TV. And
you know what, Des? I think people listening can tell there's no script involved.
Otherwise there'd be a lot of blue lines going through. No, that's out.
But I do get the feeling you're zinging along there. You're really just enjoying being there with her, and it seems like great fun.
Well, you know, anybody that's done TV, when you first start out on TV, it's your teeth have been, it's butt clenching, and you think, oh my God, do I really want to do this?
Not at my house.
Then you get to the point where you think, let's enjoy the blooming thing. Let's have fun, and it comes through.
That is a nice feeling. But it's just nice to see you doing work and enjoying it as well, you know, because I always thought you enjoyed your talk show. You always seem to enjoy it, but this even more so. It feels very natural.
Well, I get a chance here, as a talk show host, honestly, John, I do listen, and I try to give them a chance to answer back, and, you know, and I notice you're doing that lately more than you used to. Well, you were talking about it earlier. You're actually not asking and answering the question. You're actually listening.
I'm not really listening, I'm just sort of
showing the age you should have been called This Is About Me.
So what this show, Des and Mel, I get the chance not to show up, but to Mel is at times asking me questions, and she does it in this lovely, naive, feminine way. And
she's the eye candy, isn't she? The sort of strumpet, you know, a bit crumpet.
I don't know. She looks gorgeous.
I'm sure Des has his admirers as well.
Oh, what?
I know.
If you like a man in a form-fitting blazer, look no further.
I got a letter from Ron Moore from Stamford, or was that Stan Moore from Romford? Anyway, it was a guy who was saying very nice things and compliment me on my looks.
I had a nice email here. I assume it's nice for me, saying it's a message for me, if you don't mind me. This, and hello, I'm just watching Jon on TV. Could you advise me which hair dye he uses? I'm not. Can you have a look? There's no hair dye.
There's no hair dye. It shows the chest hair. Is there any chest hair?
Do you really want to see that?
Not really, but I'm trying to keep...
not as much as George.
No, I'm very hairy.
Are you?
I'm very manly, actually.
He looks like a gonk when he's got his clothes off.
It is. I look like Greek forest.
He looks like something you'd hang from the rear view of your car.
I do shave.
Look at that, Des!
Growing my own tobacco.
Do you notice, though? Very sensible. Got the vest on.
Long John Combs there.
He's got the vest on.
Borrowed them from my granddad.
It's a nice thermal.
When you know you're getting sensible, isn't it?
If you're listening, ladies, it's not a string vest. Nothing to worry about. It's gone modern.
It's not Madonna in the 80s.
It's like a Daymart vest or something like that. Extra warm and stylish.
Extra stylish.
Let me ask you.
Yeah, John.
I'll ask you as well, George, on it. Do you still find occasionally when you're standing there in your pants, you turn round, look in the mirror, suck the stomach in, flex the arm and think, I'm not such a bad-looking fella?
All the time, I do.
No. George?
Well, you know, I've seen uglier people going out with prettier people. And I think sometimes, as you get older, you sort of go more for charm. You know, I mean, there are people that you see that are kind of stunning, but there are people that you meet as you get older. You're more fussy.
I don't know what question he's answering there. It's not the one I asked, though.
It's about looking.
I was answering the question about the mushroom. Sorry.
I
just think as you get older, you know, like when you're young, you sort of want someone that's perfect. When you get older, you want someone with a personality.
Here's why I'm raising this. I think the three of us, we could still advertise underwear.
But, well, if there's anybody out there,
it's like the two ages of man. I would say three. There's no youngsters in the room.
I know you're sort of straight, aren't you? These two. So, I mean, did you used to go to the Grant's catalogue and look at the bras?
Occasionally.
So I always used to go to the underwear department, but now it's like pornography. I don't buy the pants, I buy the boxes.
It's all changed.
I've no idea what he's talking about. I've no idea what he's talking about now.
He is just being annoying now.
It takes a while. We're not
trying to turn me into Audrey, aren't you?
The coffee's worn off.
You're trying to turn me into Audrey, aren't you? I'm getting mad. About the Jonathan Ross show.
Now, have a look at George there. Look at that tattoo behind his ear there, Des.
What does it represent?
It's G.
It stands for gay, get lost.
G.
George.
Okay, Des, I'm assuming your body is a blemish-free canvas.
No, there's little pictures everywhere.
You've got an Iron Maiden tattoo on your back, I know.
Everywhere there's piercings. I've got one on my left nipple. It's somewhere to keep the car keys.
He used to have a cowbell hanging off somewhere. I heard him once when he came in. I thought it was milking time. Unfortunately, we've got to end this. I'm enjoying this.
Let's keep it.
We could. Well, why don't we just sit here for another couple of hours at the moment?
Have a sit-in.
We'll record it. We'll put it out next week. No one will know.
A joke up. We can have a bed in.
Oh dear. Des, thank you so much for coming in. Des, you can see him every weekday on ITV with the lovely Melanie Suggs. On Tuesday's show, he's got boy George on.
I didn't even know.
It'll be I honestly, I don't take that personally because I said you one day I bought a paper to see who was on the show that day. That's how loose it is.
We've run out of time though. We've got to go. Thank you so much for coming in, Des. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much, George. Great to spend time with you.
Tell Jane to expect a parcel.
I will do. Thank you, Patsy, as well for coming on the show. Thank you for listening. 88 to 91 FM. This is Radio 2 from the BBC.